All right, everybody, welcome back here to our Metallica album review series. I hope everybody had an awesome Christmas and everything. Just, a busy time of the holidays there. I kind of spaced out some videos here and there, a little bit longer than I wanted to, but, I'm busy doing all kinds of different stuff with family and, holiday events and stuff, and of course, work and school, so all that stuff. But, at least a lot of that's settling down now. We should be able to pick things up at a back to a pretty steady pace here. But anyways, yeah, we've entered the 90s because last time, of course, we talked about Injustice for All, and here, Jason Newsted, the bass player, got snubbed pretty hard on there, but not on this one. Of course, this album that we're talking about right here is the Black Album. It's very hard to see the album cover with the shiny kind of sleeve I got on there. So for this video, we'll take off the sleeves. It's kind of, still kind of hard to see. I'm trying to get a good shot there. There's the snake and all that on there. There we go. Yep, right there. And then the logo should be up around there. The logo's even harder to see, really, but should be kind of right there. Kind of see the edge of it there. But yeah, they kind of went just with a straight up dark album cover here, the Black Album. And, it's really self-titled, but it's kind of like the Beatles' The White Album. We just kind of all have, got used to calling this the Black Album. But with that being said, yeah, this thing's produced by Bob Rock, helping out James and Lars produce it. And, I mean, this is like, they say the most extensive Bob Rock's ever worked with anybody. And it has incredible production. No doubt about it. A lot of the thrashiness is going to be absent here, as we'll see, but it's still heavy metal. This is where the band, ultra mega hit album. This is one of the, I read somewhere, I'm pretty sure that this is like the highest selling metal album of all time. If I'm not mistaken. I may be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. But anyways, let's kick it off with side one. This is a double album, so side one, track one, Enter Sandman. Start off with that really cool haunting riff and everything, but I gotta say, this is probably my least favorite on here, and it's because I've just heard it so many times. I don't think it's a bad song, right? It's cool. I'm not gonna be like, oh, turn it off, but I've just heard that song so many damn times. It's like, it's hard to really feel the full effect of that one, like the first time you heard it. Some hits and stuff I can never get tired of. This is one that I've kind of just am like, I pretty much have grown tired of this one, and I grew tired of it long ago. But, it's not like a problem, really, with the album itself, because it's not a bad song. It's just I've personally grown tired of this. But, you do get to hear that awesome production and some of the best, one of the best sounds Lars drums has ever had on this album, just banging along in here. So, and talk about another hit and that banging drum sound, Sad But True, the next track, really awesome one. This one I'm not really as tired of. I know this one's a big hit too, but this one, it's hard to get tired of just that big, heavy, just popping snare that Lars has going on, and then just that badass riff that the guy's got going on. James just shouting at you, hey, I'm your life. I'm the one that takes you there. Just badass stuff. Probably, again, not one of my favorites off here due to it kind of, again, I'm not tired of that one, but it is a little worn on me. But I'm not just all out tired of it like Enter Sandman. Like, I'll still go, if I'm in the car or something jamming out, I'll pop on Sad But True. Enter Sandman, more than likely not going to happen. But then to close out side one, we've got Holier Than Thou. Faster track, a little bit more akin to the thrash stuff from before this album. So definitely a favorite of mine off off side one. Really the favorite of mine off side one. And I think it is just kind of up in the upper echelon of things as far as this album goes as a whole. It's just fast paced. James got them just, snarly, just, really brutal vocals he's got going on here with this thing, holier than thou. Just awesome, awesome stuff. Pardon my voice, by the way. I've been a little ill. So that probably didn't sound too hot, but not, and I probably sound a little stuffed up here, but we're powering through it. Then we, flip it on over to side 2 here with The Unforgiven. Another ultra mega hit off here, kind of a slower one, kind of a more of a ballad one. But this is one I really do dig. I love the chorus. It's just so damn hooky. The clean vocals of James shows that, hey, he can actually sing pretty well when he wants to. And, it is a heavy track. And I love, love, love the solo in this one. And I love the closing where the acoustic comes on top of the kind of clean guitar tone. Just, the solo is just kick-ass from Kirk Hammett on here. No doubt in my mind. Then we go on to one of my favorites off here, Wherever I May Roam. I mean, it sounds almost Egyptian sounding with that riff, and things just pick up with Lars smashing that drum kit, and then it speeds up a little bit. I mean, just a fantastic song with just a really cool build up to the chorus that just sounds really big and epic. So, I mean, Wherever I May Roam is in the top stuff for me as far as this album goes. Close out side 2 with Don't Tread on Me, another kind of a straight to the point, kind of faster one. Really cool riff here. And I like the kind of, the band all kind of shouting, don't tread on me. Really cool. Not one of my favorites off here, but it is a solid one. Kind of lies in the middle for me. Really, really cool track though. And it kind of fits with, the whole snake thing down here for the album. And on the back here, of course. And just really, really cool way to, I think, close out that first record. But then we flip it on over to side 3. And this one right here, this first, I say flip it on over to side 3. I meant grab the other record, put it on to side 3 for these double albums. Through the Never. Man, I forgot all about this song, really. I mean, honestly, it's been a minute since I've listened to this thing. And that is probably, I'm trying to think. I mean, it's probably my second or third favorite off here. Just straight up. I love the twisting, turning, through the never. Just kind of the way that chorus is laid out and just everybody just slamming on the bass, guitar, drums. Everybody's just kicking ass on this track. And it is one of the faster thrasher ones on here, for sure. That makes it, that going kind of leaning more towards that and being one of the heavier tracks on here easily makes that just one of my favorites off here. But that, I swear, man, that is one of those deep cuts, when people kind of, I mean, I know most people do love this album, but then there's also those people who are like, oh man, that's when stuff really got bad, but clearly we're not having a bad album here at all. And I think really what people tend to think of are Enter Sandman, Sad But True, Unforgiven, and the next track we'll talk about, which is Nothing Else Matters. But these deep cuts like Through the Never and Wherever I May Roam and stuff that we're going to talk about as we go along here are really what makes this album for me. So yeah, Nothing Else Matters. Really slow ballad. The band got kind of laughed at for this ultra mega hit. And I don't hate it. It's one of my least favorites off here for sure. It's kind of pretty. I like the solo in it. I think the lyrics are really repetitive. They could have maybe, because it goes through like the same verses and the chorus several times. The chorus is really hooky, has a lot of power behind it, but it is kind of a corny track. I mean, it does kind of start out with that kind of intros, kind of medieval sounding and everything. So it's not a terrible song. Not one I'd go to very often at all. This one was kind of probably like down there for me with Enter Sandman. Except call me crazy, but I'll even listen to that before Enter Sandman at this point in my life. So then we close that out with, that's side 3 out with Of Wolf and Man, one of my absolute favorites off here. Just James gets some kind of higher range stuff on here with this track. Really, really heavy chorus at the kind of growl, shape shift. Just, love the riff in this one. And I love the verses, and the lyrics are really cool and really badass in this one. Absolutely one of my favorites. That one has been one of my favorites always off this album is Of Wolf and Man. So now we flip it on over to the final side here, The God That Failed. That's another one I pretty much forgot about, man, and it's become one of my favorites. probably the top, like, top three or four. I mean, dude, that riff, I mean, the bass riff from Jason Newsted that opens it up. I mean, that right there, it's like, hey man, I'm here, I'm present on this album, and and then the guitar comes over that riff, Kirk and James, and then you just get a really, really cool song. But just that, like, whenever, since I did forget this one, hearing whenever it got to this one, I heard that bass opening. I'm like, whoa, 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 what am I missing here? Um, just straight up forgot all about that thing, and it's just absolutely one of my favorites off here, 100%. So I think it's pretty cool to discover, to kind of rediscover some of these tracks that maybe forgot about on these really huge albums like that. This one has been my favorite ever since I first ever heard this album. My Friend of Misery. This is like the Jason Newsted kind of masterpiece right here. That bass line, I love playing that thing on the bass. One of my favorite Metallica songs, period, is this one. I mean, it was apparently supposed to be an instrumental, kind of like how Cliff Burton would often write those instrumentals on the previous albums. But they wanted to throw lyrics stuff on here, and I think it would have sounded cool as an instrumental. But I mean, the lyrics and all that stuff don't harm this thing at all. One of my favorite Metallica songs of all time, My Friend of Misery. I mean, just Jason makes this song with that bass he's got going on. I love the chorus, the solo, that breakdown with kind of that haunting kind of effect that kind of harkens back to like Master of Puppets and stuff like that. So that track is just right up my alley as far as Metallica stuff goes. Then we close it out with The Struggle Within. This one kind of falls in with like the Holier Than Thou and Don't Tread on Me, just kind of those fast-paced, to-the-point tracks. I do really, really dig this one. It's got kind of a cool structure to it and everything. And a solid way to... I mean, I think I would probably rather close this out with My Friend of Misery. I think that would be an epic way to close it out. But, I mean, no harm in closing out with The Struggle Within. It's a solid song. Kind of falls in the middle for me of where... this is kind of where it lies for me. It's kind of in the middle as far as, like, my thoughts in these tracks go. Kind of right there with those other ones I mentioned. But, yeah, guys, this is a great album. It does, you either see it get overloved, overrated because of the big hits, like Inner Sandman and, Nothing Else Matters and, the stuff we kind of talked about. Or you see it start getting hated on by people who are like, oh, well, I won't listen to this. I only want to listen to Injustice for All and Back. This is where stuff really went down. Did stuff get different? Absolutely. Does that mean it's a bad thing? No. And I think, there was a point for me too where I did probably like this album a lot less than I do like currently. Whenever, I was really getting into the earlier Metallica stuff, the 80s stuff, where I was like, man, those just blow this damn thing out of the water. Right? But my love for this thing has grown over the years as I've, fallen more in love with these deep cuts, and even upon these re-listening to this album for this review, the tracks, the rediscovery of the tracks like Through the Never and The God That Failed, which have become some of my absolute favorites off this album. But My Friend of Misery, just the icing on the cake for an awesome double album. And it is, again, it's held up to what it is for a reason. It is kind of got an epic and big feel. Bob Rock's production just knocked it out of the park. I mean, it's clean, it sounds modern as all get out. You can pump this thing out today and people would think it, or someone didn't know anything about Metallica or anything, and you showed them this, they would think, is that new? Because of the production is that freaking solid on it. But, I mean, I don't know if I'd go as far as my favorite production of the band's career, but it does have solid, really, really awesome, amazing, solid production. But yeah, guys, I want to hear your thoughts on this right here. Because I know this one can be kind of divisive for some people. And especially the next one can be, that we're going to talk about, Load, in 1996, where stuff got, stuff really got changed up from even this. But, we should talk about, I would love to talk about and hear your guys' thoughts down there on, like, those big hits on this, on if, like, you guys still get enjoyment out of those really all that much, because I don't really, for the most part. except for like Sad But True and The Unforgiven. But those other two, I'm like, I can do without them. And I almost straight up forgot about it this month to do the updated Cenobite ranking video. That just kind of being all busy and stuff with the holidays this month, kind of just, it flew over my head. But don't worry, guys, that's still coming. I did straight up forget about it, honestly. But I mean, it is coming, and I already got the list made up and everything, so that'll probably end up going down. Let me think, because this year's New Year's Eve, or this weekend's New Year's Eve. I'd say probably Monday. Will probably be when that goes down. So stay tuned for that, guys. I'm hyped to get that up and running. Not, again, sorry for the delay on that. I just straight up, I got so busy, forgot about even doing that one. But again, yeah, we're going to keep trekking along here through the 90s Metallica stuff. And that means next time we're going to be looking at Load. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks for watching here. Let's drop your thoughts down. Drop your thoughts on the Black Album down there, and let's talk about this rather divisive album to a lot of people. Anyways, guys, like, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you next time.